I'm Amber Greasley. Welcome to Macleay TV. The RSPCA is calling for a nationwide ban on greyhound racing following the New South Wales decision to put an end to the industry. It comes as an inquiry uncovered new evidence of cruelty and the unnecessary mass slaughter of up to 70,000 dogs simply because they were uncompetitive. The ban will be in effect from July 1st next year. Domestic violence organisations are looking into new methods of rehabilitation for abusers following a new study that claims jail time is ineffective. Sophia Rambaldini has more.
New research has revealed that jail time is ineffective in deterring domestic violence abusers from reoffending. The study, which was conducted by the Bureau of Crime Statistics and Research, has sparked discussion about the way Australia deals with domestic violence, with some professionals in the field saying revision in the area needs to be made. CEO of Domestic Violence New South Wales, Moo Bolch, says that the study calls for more research in other methods of rehabilitation, one of them being men's behaviour change programs.
At the moment, we don't know a lot, and that's part of the problem. I think we're starting to test all sorts of new approaches with domestic violence offenders. In New South Wales, we don't have the history of government-funded men's behaviour change programs.
Men's behaviour change advocate Jerry Retford wants to see more funding go to male rehabilitation programs, saying his own experience in one, almost a decade ago, taught him how to deal with his anger.
You just kind of go to any men's behavioural change group and you see the amazing change that happens in groups of men that are helping each other change. I think it's a very politically unattractive move to give money to support men that have been violent in a relationship.
Though more research into alternative methods of rehabilitation remains to be done, it is clear that jail time for domestic violence offenders needs reassessment. Sophia Rambaldini, Macleay TV.
The Australian Tax Office has made tax returns a breeze by releasing a list of what individuals can claim as deductions. Rufford explains.
When it comes to tax time, most Australians are left in the dark on what they can and can't claim on work expenses. However, the Australian Tax Office has now released a list of occupations and their corresponding deductions that can be made. Last year, an estimated $14 billion was lost in super due to incorrect tax returns. Owner and head tax agent of LaSam Accounting, Sam Rhys believes that visiting a tax accountant is the best way to handle tax.
There are fundamental rules which they have to understand. So it's always very important that any person that is going into business understands there are rules to follow.
According to the Australian Tax Office, there are 3 golden rules when it comes to tax returns. The first one being that the purchase is work-related. Secondly, the individual was not reimbursed by the company. And finally, they have a receipt to prove it.
We're trying to physically make sure that every person who has a business understands his business. Understand, for example, what he can claim, what he can't claim, and understand, for example, how to claim it properly.
Luke Rufford, Macleay TV.
The sun has risen on an independent United Kingdom.
One of the most unprecedented events in recent times has taken place. On June 23rd, the United Kingdom voted to withdraw from the EU, with Leave winning by 52% to 48%, sending young people into protests and riots, petitioning for a second referendum. Despite the protests, only 36% of people aged 18 to 24 actually voted in the referendum.
Similar to the UK, Australia is a democracy, however employs compulsory voting, making it mandatory for all people over the age of 18 to vote.
On Saturday, July 2nd, Australian adults came to cast their vote for the 2016 federal election. There are mixed opinions over Australia's compulsory voting. However, there is a general consensus among young adults that Brexit would have had a different outcome if they had compulsory voting.
There was a 70% turnout or something, and then they're like, oh, whoops, should have voted. I think it's pretty important that everyone, cast their vote and have their say.
They should have gone out and voted if they're really upset about it now.
I think the Brexit vote would have turned out completely different if the UK had compulsory voting.
Madison, Kerry, Macleay TV.
And now to Brianna Lugg for our headlines from Melbourne.
Thanks, Amber. Federal police have seized $300 million of crystal methamphetamine in Melbourne. The drug ice was hidden in a shipment of metal pallets coming in from China. Convicted carjackers could be sentenced up to 25 years in jail under new Victorian laws. The proposal comes after a recent spate of violent carjackings across Melbourne. And everyone knows Victorians are footy mad. A local football team is struggling with a new coach and players this season. Rhys Carman has the details.
Avondale Heights Football Club is at a turning point in footy season. With only one win to its name at the halfway mark, new coach Daniel Archer is confident of a better finish.
Enjoying the new club and a new group of players, and I guess making our progress to hopefully see more improvement in the back half of the year.
Injuries have played a big part in the poor performance of Avondale Heights early in the season, as well as losing 17 players from the 2015 list.
A lot of new players and new coach, so I think it's just going to take a bit of time to gel together.
We've had a fair turnover, not only in playing stocks this year, but also new players to the club. I think of still searching for that cohesion.
Archer believes that the youth and inexperience of the side is a factor in not being able to compete with the top teams in the comp. Avondale Heights are currently sitting second last on the ladder, but the players are confident a few more wins will see them climb up the ranks.
I think finals is out of the question, but yeah, hopefully, I don't know, 5th or 6th, something like that.
The club is safe from being relegated to the lower division, and the focus now is to finish the season strong and take form into next year. Rhys Carman, Macleay TV, Melbourne.
With growing concerns over children's safety in contact sports, rugby league officials have implemented new concussion rules to prevent head injuries in young children. Kamilia Hanna reports.
Rugby league players as young as 15 are set to be monitored by concussion officials as the code cracks down on treatment for head injuries.
We test them. If we think they are concussed, so we take them out off the field, and automatically they get a week or two off before. And then they go to the doctor when they get checked out, and the doctor would tell them if they can come back or not.
On-field officials put the welfare of children first and make the final decision on whether the child should play.
That's why we have the league safe trainers here that make the call for them, so to speak. So if they feel that the child shouldn't play any longer, they keep them off the field.
Kamilia Hanna, Macleay TV.
Safe Schools Coalition Australia is a national initiative funded by the Australian Government that aims to help schools become safer and more inclusive for same-sex attracted, intersex and gender diverse students, staff and families. The program aims to reduce homophobic and transphobic behaviour in young people and overall reduce the rate of bullying and discrimination in the school environment. However, not everybody agrees with this program.
It should still remain a choice and it shouldn't be compulsory, and I think that this program is somewhat against what we teach of the Catholic ways.
Statistics show 75% of LGBTI experience abuse and discrimination, and 80% of this abuse happens in a school environment. Victims of bullying support the program.
If I would have actually been shown that and taught that at an earlier age, along with fellow classmates, stuff like that, I would have shown them that it's okay for everyone that's different, and I wouldn't have been bullied myself.
It is clear primary school students are vulnerable and highly dependent on their parents. So should they be exposed to gender diversity and sexuality at such a young age?
It's such an important initiative. I think it's a really good step towards the future.
Don't agree with the Safe Schools program, and I think it should remain a choice. That's why I send my kids to a Catholic school.
Diyana, Lusic, Macleay TV.
According to the Herald Sun, when it comes to technology, there is great debate on whether children should be allowed to use it and how often they should be on it. iPad programs are now being introduced in some schools to help children learn visually.
Children are using it to improve their skills in literacy, to film different events and to write about those.
Through the application store, children are able to download both educational and entertainment games. Although technology now provides a learning tool for children, some may think otherwise, as children are now becoming more dependent on technology.
There is pros and cons in using technology, but the main issue is overusing it. So parents need to ensure the child is using it in moderation.
Speaking to a psychologist anonymously, they believe that if children overuse technology, it may affect the cognitive and physical abilities. Jessica Spiteri, Macleay TV.
And that's all from us here at Macleay TV. I'm Amber Greasley. Thanks for watching.